Hello there and welcome to the 11.2 Season 3 Gearing Up Guide for World of Warcraft. In this video we'll cover all the changes to gearing in 11.2 and everything you need to know about gearing up in the first week of the patch, as well as from the second week onwards when Season 3 officially begins. One nice quality of life change this time round is that Valorstones will not reset at the start of the new season, so no need to farm Valorstones if you are low on those. It's not really a big issue for mains because by doing the campaign in 11.2 you'll likely stock up on these anyway, but definitely a nice change for ults, so no need to refarm Valorstones for your upgrades. Your crests that you currently have, your undercoin and your coffer keys will reset still as usual. Let's go through week 1 gearing. So you will be able to complete normal, heroic and mythic 0 dungeons, as well as all of the tiers of delves, purely depending on how high you can get unlocked, because you will need to start unlocking those again from level 4 upwards. This does mean that you will be able to get yourself a full tier of mythic 0 loot if you do a world tour for a row of 691 item level gear from the dungeon track on your Great Vault, because another change this time is that you can get Great Vault progress from week 1. If you also manage to do delves at tier 7 minimum, you will also be able to get a full row of 694 iLvl gear on the delve track in your weekly vault. You will not be able to earn coffer key shards or restored coffer keys this week, however, just during week 1, but from August the 12th onwards you'll be able to start earning these and opening these bountiful chests in the bountiful delves. So this is recommended if you do want to hit the ground running with a good piece of gear from your vault as soon as Season 3 actually begins on August 12th. If you do want to try your luck, you could also spam heroic dungeons too to get yourself some 681 item level loot on the veteran track. Now this should be upgradable up to iLvl 691. So champion track gear is the cap in week 1. So a quick gearing summary for week 1 is to do the campaign as far as you can on your main character, and then do a mythic 0 world tour, as well as do your delves as high a level as you can unlock. Ideally level 7 or above, because that will get you the best reward from your weekly vaults as far as delves are concerned. So moving to week 2, this is where the real fun begins. This is the official start of Season 3 from August the 12th. So Mythic Plus becomes available with a brand new pool of dungeons for Season 3, and you've also got the Tazavesh hard mode being available as well. Now yep, I say brand new pool of dungeons, there are some returning from the past of course, and here are the dungeons you can expect to find in Season 3 of the War Within. You do also get the Tazavesh hard mode dungeon being available as well, so this is where it's not split into 2 wings, and it's the hard mode the same as what we had in Shadowlands. The Tazavesh hard mode dungeon is tuned basically like a plus 10, so the bosses in there should drop item level 701 gear. The raid will also lock in week 2 on all difficulties, but for LFR it will just be wing 1. So yep, from the start of the season you can indeed do the normal, heroic and mythic versions of the new raid, Manaforge Omega. The first wing of the LFR version of the raid will unlock on the 12th of August, but the other wings will unlock the week after, and then the final wing the week after that. So wing 2 on the 19th of August, and the final wing on the 26th of August. Now within the raid you will also start earning renown with the Manaforge Vandals, the new raid renown, just like the Galadriel Loyalty Rewards Club that we saw in the Liberation of Undermine raid last season. There is actually no gear from this reward track, but you do get the stacking damage and healing buff in the raid at renown levels 4, 7, 10, 12 and 15. We do have confirmation that the story mode will be available this time as well, and this will be from the 3rd week of 11.2, so the 19th of August is when story mode is available. That will just be for the last boss, Dimensius, but this will allow anyone that doesn't like to raid a chance to complete the campaign this week, as this does require a Dimensius kill. So for dungeon gearing, you can see here that the normal dungeons drop 639 iLvl gear that cannot be upgraded, so these are really not worth your time unless you're a super casual player. Heroic dungeons drop 665 iLvl gear and also drop weathered crests. Now these may be worth farming in the first week, but probably not after the season begins. Now mythic dungeons, mythic 0 starts at 681 item level and drops carved crests, and when mythic plus opens, from 2 to 6 level keys you get runed crests. Gilded crests still come from level 7 keys and above. So remember, if you do deplete a key, don't worry, you just get a -4 penalty on the crest that you get at the end of the run, so still worth the completion. And also remember that you do get a deserter debuff now if you leave a mythic plus key, so just don't do that. So the best keys to focus for the average player, ideally keys level 7 plus, so you can start getting that hero track gear from the dungeons and collecting gilded crests. Do Mythic Plus level 10 keys if you can, because that will be a very efficient way of getting gear and the crests, And if you can, do plus 12s, because that's going to be by far the most efficient way to cap out on gilded and runed crests. So for raid gear, you can see here the item levels from the different tiers of the raid. Now there appears to be no very rare gear drops from the raid this time around, so this may change, but it's unlikely at this point. The tier sets from the raid can all be seen in this video here as well, so if you want to check out the appearances, do have a little look at this video. There's some very cool ones to see. The tier set bonuses this time work a little bit differently too. Now tier sets now play into your hero talents, so for each spec you'll get a different set bonus based on what hero talents you are currently using. Bit of a different way of doing it, we'll see how this plays out. If you'd like to look at all the tier set bonuses, then do check out this Wowhead article linked below. The big change this time is we have a new artifact level cloak we get during the campaign. So you will unlock this very early on during week 1 of the new patch. So you will need to use this cloak for most things that you do in patch 11.2. It's required to get into the raid Manaforge Omega, and it is tied to the new phase diving activity that you can do around Koresh. More on that in a separate video, all about what to do when the patch launches. So when you first get the cloak, it's basically a big stat block that starts at item level 694. You can add fibres to it that specify which secondary stat you would like to have on your cloak. Now first of all, you just get rare level fibres from Hashim, who is located in Overlock Zoshul at these coordinates here on the screen. And you can eventually get the epic versions of these fibres, which will give you more stats. Once tailors get to Renown level 5 with the Koresh Trust, the new main faction for the patch 11.2, they'll be able to buy the recipe to craft these epic fibres, so you can get your hands on these through the work order system. So you basically get this when you complete chapter 3 of the campaign. You will then get a quest called A Skip Through the Void, and this will take you to Hashim, and he can explain the artifact cloak to you and the new phase diving system as well, and also explain a bit about the fibres and the strands. So what are the strands that I just referred to? Now these are called ethereal strands. You need to get 3 of these to power up sort of a talent point system on the progression row for the cloak. So the first 3 strands you'll get from just completing chapter 3 of the campaign. So you'll get an idea for how this system works by just doing that. There is a weekly cap to how many strands you can get, and there is a catch-up mechanic to this as well. So if you miss a week, you can just get to the new weekly cap as it progresses as the season carries on. And your following ethereal strands will come from activities such as completing warrant quests, the end of Delve chests, raid bosses, dungeon bosses, and winning PvP matches. So basically from the similar sources as you get your crafting sparks from. So it is time gated, yep, you cannot farm this all at once. You can earn up to 3 ethereal strands per week, but that cap, like I said, is a rolling cap. So if you only play in week 2, for example, you will be able to earn the current cap, which will be 6 strands at that time. So the Reshii Wraps will adapt to your current combat specialisation, depending on if you're tanking, healing, or dealing damage. If you would like some more detail on this cloak, then please do check out my 11.2 launch week guide. Link in the description. And do remember, this cloak is going to be higher item level than anything else you can get this season, so this does kind of invalidate crafted cloaks. If you currently have a crafted cloak, you might want to get a different crafted piece in a different slot. Let's look at delve gearing then. So this is still the same, with tier 11 Bountiful delves giving you the gilded stash containing 7 gilded crests. This is lootable 3 times a week, as it has been in previous seasons, for a total of 21 gilded crests per week. It's also still true that tier 8 to 11 delves all give the same level of gear, so if you've already got your 3 tier 11 gilded crest stash for the week, or if you just don't simply care about those gilded crests, you can simply just do tier 8 delves, and you'll get the best gear rewards from that, and from the vault row as well. Delver's bounty maps will still drop and can only be used in the Bountiful delve, so not in week 1 but from week 2 onwards. These will give you 10 gilded crests when you loot the bounty chest, and the same applies. You will ideally want to use this during a tier 8 delve or above to maximise potential rewards from the chest. We have a different nemesis this season. It's Nexus Prince Kai Veza, the one that we saw in the raid at Narubar Palace. Now she does have a chance to turn up in any of your delve runs and ruin your day, and stay alive long enough, force her to leave, and she could have a chance to drop you a map, your Delver's Bounty map. Remember that maps got changed as well last season, so you can only loot 1 of these per week. And there is some bad luck protection. The more delves you do without getting a map, the more likely it will be on subsequent delve runs. Just like we had the item to summon Underpin last season in delves, you can also buy that item as well from the vendors in the Delver's HQ. So if you want to skip some luck and just summon Nexus Prince Kai Veza into your delve, buy this item and you can do so using that. With crafted gear, the setup is still the exact same as it was in Season 2. We have a different spark this time. It's called the Spark of Starlight, and you'll collect fractured sparks of Twilight from various types of content to make your full spark, just as we did in Season 2. Now, even the lowest level of spark will allow you to create gear starting at item level 6, 7, 8 on a quality 1 piece, but going up to 6, 9, 1 if you get it to rank 5. Remember, it's not ideal to craft a cloak, as you're going to be using the Reshii Wraps artifact cloak in Season 3. Now, let's talk about Renown, because Renown is a good option for gear sometimes, not really for your main characters, but definitely for your ults. So, the Currencies Trust, what can you get from those guys? Level 7 lets you buy a Veteran Cloak at 668 item level. You will also gather Ethereal Crests at various levels, and Valorstones along the way as you get Renown with these guys. Also, restored Coffer keys too for use in Bountiful Delves. At level 16 Renown, so quite some way in, you can get some Champion Track 681 iLvl bracers, but by then you probably won't need these on your main, unless you get super unlucky on gear. Level 20 Renown is quite juicy. You can get yourself a free Enchanted Runed Ethereal Crest to use with the crafting system, and this could get you a piece of gear ranging from item level 691 to 704 based on the quality. So that's pretty much it, guys. The gearing is very similar to last season. A quick summary for you to wrap up this video. In week 1, do the campaign as far as you can. I believe it's up to chapter 3 in week 1. And then start to do your Mythic Plus World Tour, as well as delves on as high a level as you possibly can, to get yourself 2 full rows of gear unlocked on there. When week 2 comes around, the World Boss should be available, so do go and kill the World Boss once a week. This is going to get you some Warbound gear as well for your ults. The World Boss this time is a big juicy dragon called Reshii, and you can find him in Currencies. So when week 2 comes around, do the rest of the campaign, get the quest to go into the raid and kill Dimensius, and then do the World Boss. Do your Mythic Plus, because Mythic Plus will have unlocked by then, and also continue to do delves on tier 8 or above if possible, as well as get your restored coffer keys before you go in from your weekly activities, such as the usual things, the Theatre Troupe, the Hallowfall event, Awakening the Machine scenario, and so on and so on. Each week, ensure you get your 3 ethereal strands and use those to power up your Reshii Wraps artifact cloak, and clear the raid on as high a tier as you possibly can. And that's pretty much it, guys. What are you most excited for in Season 3? Honestly, I can't wait to see how this Dimensius fight plays out. Have you heard the music for that? It's pretty epic. So, good luck on the gearing, guys, in Season 3, patch 11.2. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it or found it useful, please do leave it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more guides and content from me, the Drowsy Dragon. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.